You know, America sells this one powerful idea to the whole world. It's a promise so deep, so tied into its identity, that it pretty much is the country itself.
And it's this simple, almost intoxicating formula, right? We've all heard it. The belief that it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from, if you put in the work, you'll make it. That's the American dream, right at its core.
But what if that's not the whole story? Because for every single success story we see on TV, there are thousands of broken lives that we never hear about. And underneath that shiny promise, there's a hidden cost, both psychological and economic, that can be absolutely devastating.
Okay, so what is that cost? First, let's just talk about the psychological price. It turns out the very goals the dream pushes us to chase might actually be making us miserable. To really get this, you have to understand two very different kinds of goals.
First up, you have what psychologists call intrinsic goals. Think personal growth, strong relationships with family and friends, being part of a community, feeling healthy, the stuff that actually satisfies our deepest needs and leads to real happiness.
And then there are extrinsic goals, the constant chase for more money, for fame, for the right image. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's pretty much the American dream in a nutshell. But the problem is, when you focus only on that stuff, it tends to crowd out all those essential intrinsic goals that we really need.
And here it is, side by side. It's pretty stark. Focusing on the intrinsic stuff helps you flourish, to genuinely thrive. But focusing on the extrinsic, chasing money and status above everything else, is linked to languishing. This, right here, is the psychological dark side of the American dream.
And get this, here's the real kicker. A major study found that even when people achieved their extrinsic goals, they got the money, they got the fame, it didn't make them any happier. Their well-being didn't increase at all. So it turns out, even winning the game doesn't guarantee you'll feel good about it.
Okay, so psychologically, the dream is already on shaky ground. Winning might not even feel like winning. But what about the economic promise? The whole hard work always pays off idea? Well, let's take a look at the reality. We're always told to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, right? But that just begs a really fundamental question. If hard work is the secret ingredient, then why are so many people working harder than ever? 2 jobs, 3 jobs, not to get rich, but just to keep their heads above water. The data tells a pretty shocking story. This chart shows that for decades, American workers have been getting more and more productive. I mean, we're creating way more value than ever before. But then look at the typical worker's pay. It's barely moved. It's practically flatlined.
Just let that sink in for a second. All of that extra value, all that wealth created from decades of hard work, it's just not going into most people's paychecks, which leads to the real question, where is all that money going?
It's going to the top, and that has a massive impact on social mobility, the very heart of the dream. In the US, where you start out in life is now a huge predictor of where you'll end up. In fact, it's significantly harder to climb the economic ladder in America than in places like Canada, Norway, or Denmark.
So, if the data is this clear, why does the dream still have such a powerful hold on people? Well, John Steinbeck absolutely nailed it with this quote. The belief is so strong because people see themselves not as stuck, but as temporarily embarrassed millionaires. It's a powerful fantasy that keeps people buying into the system, even when it's failing them.
And this brings us to the darkest part of the whole story, the idea that the game itself might actually be rigged. That for a lot of people, failure isn't a personal flaw, it's built right into the system.
Take a look at this number, 40%. That is the percentage of personal bankruptcies in the United States that are linked to medical bills. These aren't people who were irresponsible with their money. They just got sick.
As Elizabeth Warren put it, so many families are literally just one bad diagnosis, one car accident away from total financial ruin. They did everything they were supposed to, they worked hard, and one piece of bad luck just wiped them out completely.
But what happens when the most powerful institutions fail? Well, we saw it in 2008. The financial firms that nearly destroyed the global economy got bailed out with taxpayer money. They were considered too big to fail. A safety net that's just not there for regular families.
The lack of accountability is just staggering. Wall Street rewards insane risks, even when it destroys lives. We saw executives take that bailout money and pay themselves millions in bonuses. Meanwhile, you've got scammers becoming celebrities and fraudsters writing bestsellers while ordinary people lose their homes and their savings.
But maybe the most dangerous part of this whole thing is the lie it tells you. It's the myth that says your success or failure is purely a reflection of your own hard work. So if you don't make it, well, that's on you.
It's a really convenient story, isn't it? It means you don't have to look at the systemic problems. You don't question the rules. You don't ask if the game itself is fair. No. Your failure is personal.
So when you put all of this together, where exactly does that leave the American dream? The evidence suggests it's transformed into something very, very different. A new reality.
The dream still exists, sure, but today it is expensive. You need huge resources just to get in the game. It's unequal, with everyone starting from different places. And it is deeply, deeply unforgiving. It punishes everyday people for bad luck while rewarding the powerful for bad behavior.
It's become a fractured promise. The dream hasn't vanished, but it's been shattered into pieces, and only a lucky few get to grab a whole one. And yet, millions and millions of people keep chasing it. Why?
I think it's because the dream was never just an idea. It's a product. It's a belief system that gets sold and resold to every new generation.